I'm Rhonda Schur, your host on Society Bites Radio on the show Unleashing LinkedIn, where I get to interview guests from all areas of business so that we can learn more about them, how they're using LinkedIn, and understand their businesses. If your LinkedIn profile isn't taking you to the next level and you are in the LinkedIn Witness Protection Program, then reach out to me at unleashinglinkedin@gmail.com and let's get you out of the Witness Protection Program. Today, I'm really excited because the gentleman that we're going to be talking to, I found on LinkedIn, believe it or not, and his name is, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Ron JACOBS. Okay, help me out here, Ron.
Last name is JACOBSMEIER.
JACOBSMEIER. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a program to help some of my clients, help myself with debt elimination. And through the power of LinkedIn, I actually found Ron. Now, Ron is the dad of 3 beautiful girls, 36, 29, and 26, but he also has 6 awesome grandchildren, an amazing fiance who has 2 teenage sons, and in addition, he works with a softball tournament every summer. But more importantly, what we're going to talk to him today is about a company called United Financial Freedom, where he is an independent agent. And what Ron has seen firsthand is how this amazing program can help families and individuals regain their financial freedom. He's going to talk today about telling us about this system where you can take a typical 30-year mortgage as well as any additional debt and pay it off in a third to a half of the time, and sometimes in as little as 5 to 7 years without changing your existing budget. Yes, you heard that right. Without taking out any additional loans or consolidating. So we're going to learn a lot more about this today. Ron, thanks for joining us today on Unleashing LinkedIn.
The honor is mine. Thank you very much.
So I'm curious, Ron, because, we've never met in person, but we've had a lot of conversations. What did you think when I found you on LinkedIn? And do other people find you on LinkedIn?
Absolutely. I get many contacts through LinkedIn. And so when you contacted me, I immediately thought, the power of social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, things like that. So I advertise on Facebook and LinkedIn, like so utilizing social media like that really connects the entire country together, by a phone call or by email or by text. So it's really amazing how you can work from the comfort of your home nationwide.
It really is, Ed.
Are you still there, Rhonda?
When I found out about the program, United Financial Freedom, the first thing I did was go to LinkedIn because I knew that I wanted to find somebody, and it's a program that is a direct sales program with teams, and I wanted to find somebody that was with a team that was really, really dialed in. And what I found was that the person that you work with is one of the very, very top people in the company. So maybe the best place to start is just tell us a little bit about what attracted you to United Financial and also what the program is and does for people.
Sure, absolutely. So initially what attracted me to the company and the program is I'm, as most of you know, up there in age a little bit, have some older kids. So I'm 53 years old. My fiance and I were looking at relocating, merging our families together, needed a bigger house. So with being my age, I was a little bit taken back about another 30-year mortgage pushing me into my 80s to pay for our new house. And so I was searching the internet for different programs, looked at Dave Ramsey, looked at a bunch of other programs that were out there, and I stumbled across this one. And it just made complete sense right from the get-go. So I reached out to a few people in the company, watched some videos, watched a couple webinars, talked to some people at the top of the company that have been working this for many, many years, and it just completely made sense. So what this does in a nutshell is it is a web-based program that completely is calculating and recalculating every single penny that is in your cash flow to find the fastest mathematical way to zero debt. So if anything changes in your life, if you add something, if you want to buy a car, if you want to remodel your house, if you want to purchase a different house, if you make more money, a bonus or things like that, you plug that into the system and it continuously recalculates every single move you make financially to find the fastest way to zero debt. So it's a live, dynamic program. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in essence, it's almost like having your own financial advisor sitting on your computer, because what my understanding is with this is that if you have at least $10 or $20 a month more in income than you have in debt, you would qualify to use this program. Is that right?
Absolutely correct.
And the thing that I love about it is, because this question comes up all the time, they say, oh, does that mean I have to make 2 payments on my house? Or, that you're, really taking every cent you have and putting it into paying off your debt. But in essence, really what it looks at, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is how money floats. So the program will tell you how much to pay to every one of the people that you owe money to and when to pay it, because the system is smart enough to know how money flows. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely, and you're basically spot on. The way the program works is it understands every single type of interest, whether it's a credit card, student loan, car payments, or a mortgage. It understands the peak times of the month to make a payment towards the interest or towards principal to pay down the interest, and it is constantly calculating, telling you what dollar amount to send to what debt on what day of the month to maximize eliminating as much interest as possible.
So in essence, what happens to people who have 30-year mortgages is they're not really paying more than they would normally pay. They're just following the system so they know when to pay and how much to pay every single month. In fact, cutting off potentially 10 or more years to their loan to become debt-free. Is that accurate?
That's correct, yes.
Can you share a couple of success stories of people that you know that have used the program? And because, Dave Ramsey is great, but the challenge with that is, you have to be super disciplined. And as Dave says, you got to live on rice and beans. And that doesn't sound too good to me. So with this program, with this program, literally you just go to your computer, and I believe there's a way that you can tie this to all of your credit cards and debit cards so that, everything is automatically put in. So you don't have to be putting things in automatically. But share a couple of success stories of people that have used the program and what's happened for them, because I know that when you have additional income, you can then start building wealth. So talk about that for a minute, Ron.
Sure, absolutely. So first of all, very close to home, my daughter uses the program as well. Let me backtrack just a second. I'll tell you about my personal story. Myself, with finding a new house, I've got a $244,000 mortgage. I've got a $16,000 car, and I got some credit card debt. So looking at a 30-year mortgage, 5 years on my car, that's something that I was looking for this program to try to, reduce in the amount of payments. So the program, for me personally, is reducing that down to 8.2 years for me completely being debt-free, paying off the $244,000 mortgage and my car and my credit cards, 8.2 years.
And you're not doing anything different than you would normally be doing other than following what the system tells you to do. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yep. And then my daughter, she's 26 years old. She's got some just under $45,000 worth of student loans and a car payment. And she's been wanting to get into purchasing a house. Well, with that kind of debt and the payments with what her income is, she was looking at about 19 years for paying all that stuff off. And we all know student loans, they go on forever when you pay the minimum payment. So using this program, she's able to eliminate all of her debt in 3.1 years. So now, within those 3 years, she's able to, start building for a down payment on a house. And then I've got one other couple who I worked with months ago. He's 68 years old. She's 63. They also still have student loans. And, they have a mortgage as well and a car payment. So about $98,000. And she's, a traveling salesperson. She wants to get off the road. She wants to retire. And, him being a little bit analytical, he's kind of mapped out how much, how long it would take to make these payments. And they were looking at about 19 to 20 years making the payments that they've been making for several years before this. With the program, they're able to eliminate all of that in 3.7 years approximately. And, she actually started tearing up because her first statement was, oh my gosh, now I can retire. So it absolutely affects people's lives.
So, Ron, I'm sure you've heard this before. It sounds too good to be true, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, how much it cost and why does this program work? Because for somebody that's listening that's never heard of this before, and that was me at the beginning, I looked at this and said, there's no way. This is impossible.
Sure.
So, demystify it for us, would you?
Sure, absolutely. Some people say, show me the magic. Some people say this is too good to be true. It is absolutely simply math. It's 40 million lines of code and algorithms in the backside of this program that have been put together over many, many years, $20 million to put it together, that constantly is recalculating mathematically the fastest way to zero. So no matter what happens in your life, whether you add or subtract from your cash flow, it calculates the fastest way to zero. And what's nice about it, too, is you can plug in futuristic events. Like, let's say my car is starting to fall apart and I need to get a new car within the next 2 years. I can plug in a number, 25, 30,000, 50,000, whatever kind of car that I want, and plug it into 2022, and it will mathematically show me what that does to my cash flow and my debt payoff date. So it's a very alive program. So
what do you need to have? Because I know when this program first came out, you needed to have a home equity loan. That's not always the case anymore. Can you talk a little bit about, how this program works and a little bit about the cost? Because I know people are going to be interested and want to know more about that as well.
Sure, absolutely. So back in 2004, I believe, the company started this program. Many sales, many agents, doing very successful, and then all of a sudden 2008 hit. At the very beginning of this program, you needed to have a mortgage and a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. So when 2008 hit, the housing bubble, they pulled back a little bit, pulled it off the market, basically retooled everything, and now, today, it's available just using your checking and your savings account. You do not have to have a mortgage. You do not have to have a HELOC. So it works for all kinds of debt at any level of your debt level. It could be $2,000 up to, $1 million in debt.
So what does it cost? I know people want to know that, right?
Sure, yeah. As far as the cost, every single person is different on the cost because the algorithms in the backside of this program calculate, as we're doing your free analysis. There's a free analysis that we put together with your actual numbers. It's not just a hypothetical. It's actually your numbers, your debt load. And so the algorithms in the back are constantly, calculating the cost of the program as well. So it completely depends on the amount of debt, the amount of interest saved, and the time frame on when we can get you out of debt. So if you've got under $80,000 and no mortgage, the range is approximately $800 to about $1,200 for the program. Anything above that, you can have up to 3 mortgages on the next level,